Arterial supply of the eyeball. The eyeball is supplied by the following arteries: central artery of the retina, long and short posterior ciliary arteries, anterior ciliary arteries. In the region of ciliary body, a major arterial circle is formed by the anastomosis between long posterior ciliary artery and anterior ciliary artery. From major arterial circle, the vessel passes centripetally and anastomoses close to the pupillary margin to form the minor arterial circle. Compartments of the eyeball. The interior of the eyeball is divided into two compartments by the lens: a small anterior compartment in front of the lens and a large posterior compartment behind the lens. Anterior compartment. It is divided into two chambers: a smaller anterior chamber and a larger posterior chamber. The anterior chamber lies between the iris and cornea, and posterior chamber between the iris and the lens. The two chambers communicate with each other through the pupil. The two chambers are filled with an aqueous humor which helps in maintaining the intraocular pressure. The aqueous humor is rich in ascorbic acid, glucose, and amino acids. It nourishes the cornea and the lens, which are otherwise avascular. Circulation of aqueous humor. The aqueous humor is secreted in the posterior chamber by the ciliary processes. From here, it passes into the anterior chamber through the pupil. Here, it passes through the spaces in the iridocorneal angle and then enter into the canal of Schlemm, from where it is drained by the anterior ciliary veins. Clinical correlation. Glaucoma. If the drainage of aqueous humor is blocked, there occurs an abnormal increase in the intraocular pressure, a condition called glaucoma. As a result, there is severe pain in the eye due to pressure on the highly sensitive cornea. The glaucoma may cause a variety of visual problems: blindness due to compression of the retina and its blood supply. The intraocular pressure, which normally is about 15 mmHg, can be measured on anesthetized cornea by tonometry. Posterior compartment. It is behind the lens and much larger than the anterior compartment, comprising 4/5 of the eyeball. It is surrounded almost completely by the retina and is filled with colorless, transparent jelly-like substance called vitreous humor or vitreous body. The vitreous humor is enclosed in a delicate hyaloid membrane. Anteriorly, the hyaloid membrane forms a depression, the hyaloid fossa, in which rests the lens. The vitreous humor helps in maintaining the intraocular pressure and therefore the shape of the eyeball. Further, it holds the lens and the retina in place. The hyaloid canal extends from optic disc to the lens. The canal marks the site of the hyaloid artery in the fetus. The hyaloid artery is a continuation of central artery of the retina, which disappears 6 weeks before birth. Lens. The lens is an unusual biological structure. It is a transparent biconvex body, 1 centimeter in diameter and 4 millimeters thick, placed between the anterior and posterior compartments of the eyeball. External features. The lens presents the following external features: anterior and posterior surfaces, anterior and posterior poles, a circumference, the equator. The line connecting the anterior and posterior poles is called the axis of the lens. Structure. The lens is enclosed in a transparent elastic capsule. Anteriorly, deep to capsule, lies capsular epithelium. In the center, the epithelium is made up of a single layer of cuboidal cells. The cells at periphery prolongate to give rise to lens fibers. These fibers get arranged concentrically and form the lens substance. The center, which is the nucleus of the lens, consists of the oldest fibers. Here, the lens fibers lose their nuclei and organelles. As a result, a special set of proteins called crystallines lie in the center. The center of the lens is therefore hard. The periphery of the lens, which is the cortex, is soft because it is made up of more recently formed fibers. Clinical correlation. Presbyopia, also known as short vision. The lens plays an important role in accommodation. The lens absorbs much of the ultraviolet light and becomes increasingly yellowish with age. It also becomes harder with age, as a result of which the power of accommodation is lessened in old age, producing a clinical condition called presbyopia. Cataract. The opacity of the lens is termed cataract. With increasing age and in certain disease states, the lens becomes opaque. The increasing opacity leads to increasing visual impairment. This can be treated surgically by excision of opaque lens and replacement with an artificial lens. Suspensory ligaments of the lens, also known as zonule of Zinn. The lens is suspended between the anterior and posterior compartments of the eye by suspensory ligaments of the lens. These ligaments extend from ciliary body to the lens capsule, mostly in front. Refractive media of the eye. These include the cornea, which is very refractive but not adjustable, aqueous humor, lens, which is refractive and adjustable, vitreous humor or vitreous body. All these media together form the refractive apparatus of the eye. An important point to be noted here is that most of the refraction by eye takes place at the anterior surface of the cornea, not in the lens as generally thought.